I can't believe it. Like, I don't know how to do an analysis of this. I don't know what to say. I'm trying to look at this from a Marxist perspective, and the only thing that I can think of is the usual systemic racism within society. And it's like you can't even really blame this on like a corrupt official or anything, because this was a jury, a rather odd jury given that they were all female. But I I'm just left absolutely speechless. Maybe I'm making this recording way too soon after the whole event has happened. I just it blows my mind. Not even manslaughter. He's just gotten completely off. He killed him. He followed him when the police told him not to. He pulled a gun on an unarmed kid. He lied so many times on the police report. And I firmly believe that's why he didn't testify. Because I think he knows he cannot back his story up in court because he will not be able to keep it straight. And I am damn sure that's why he didn't testify. I mean, this is just like there's degrees of injustice that are completely unbelievable. Like there's Mumia Abu Jamal levels of injustice, and there's Rodney King levels of injustice, and now we can add this to it. It's obviously the police didn't play a part in the actual killing, but this is it boggles the mind that he actually not even manslaughter. So if, say, the jury just didn't agree with the death penalty, they could, I think you can still say manslaughter. I think you can only get the death penalty if you're convicted of murder. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's how it works. Zimmerman had so much working against him. The fact that he very clearly lied about things. His what was it? I think it was his dad or his uncle went on Twitter, tore out a ton of racist garbage. Zimmerman was shown to be racist himself. He acted like he was like the community cop. He did so many things he wasn't supposed to do. He was so clearly guilty of just so many things wrong, and he still was declared not guilty. This is unfathomable to me, and just one of those times that makes me so glad I don't live in the United States, and I hope to God nothing like that would ever happen here. Now, having said that, I think it's important to point out that there's going to be a wrongful death suit. Like, there's going to be a civil suit against him for wrongful death, and he won't win. He won't win that. He's done in that regard. They're going to get him for millions, and he's going to be paying that for the rest of his life. And he deserves it. He completely deserves it. And I hope this just financially destroys him for the rest of his life after he killed that kid. I mean, there isn't even a question whether or not he killed him. It's just unfathomable. I can't even talk properly. And another thing, Zimmerman is now, for the rest of his life, he's going to have to look over his shoulder every time he sees a black person. Every time he sees a black face, he's going to wonder if he's going to get killed. And he's genuinely really going to have to worry about that. And you know what? He deserves to live with that kind of pain. To live with that much worry in his heart all the time. Because imagine how much pain is in Trayvon Martin's family right now. And how much pain they've been through this entire time since that boy was killed. He deserves all of that. He is never going to be able to go to a majority black city, town, organization, anything, ever. He is going to, the government's going to have to protect him. They're going to have to take him and move him somewhere to like the whitest area that they can find. Somewhere in like Montana, or this is one friend suggested northern New Hampshire. He's going to have to live in hiding because of this. I mean, there's no question. He's going to have to fear for his life every day, the way he made Trayvon Martin fear for his life. Now, the only question remaining is what is going to be the social impact of this entire situation? There is going to be, at least I think, going to be mass unrest because of this. Black communities all across the country should be massively outraged because of this. And they should damn well should be angry because of this, because this was a miscarriage of justice. This is unbelievable that this guy is going to get away with it. There has to be consequences for the state, for the judicial system, for the system in general. There has to be consequences for this. If they get away with this and there's no kind of uprising or revolt or riots because of this, then it's going to be a terrible loss. Because there has to be justice on some level, in or outside of the system, for this happening, him getting away with killing that kid. And then what infuriates people, myself and many people more, is looking at all the racist garbage online about how Trayvon deserved it for being what hood rat, or a ton of other racial garbage. It's like, oh, Trayvon the innocent, and posted pictures of him smoking weed. Oh, because therefore if you smoke weed, you're a bad person, you deserve to get shot for walking in a neighborhood. Unbelievable. I mean, there's a ton of things. Like, this whole trial exposed an unbelievable amount of racism that exists in American society. Yeah, there's a lot of people who try to say that this is a post-racist world. We don't need laws to protect ethnic minorities. And this whole situation has done nothing but show that there's been very little change. There's been a lot of superficial change, but deep down inside, it's not happened. That racism, that tremendously disgusting, unscientific racism is still there. And I don't even believe it's just below the surface. It came right out into the public, onto the surface for everyone to see. And that was displayed very much by a lot of statements and a lot of things that were put on a lot of different websites and stuff that was put out into the media. One of those things where people don't even notice it right away, but it's insanely racist, and then when you step back and you think about it, it really is. I mean, I can't really do a proper analysis right now because I'm still in shock about this. Maybe in a couple of days I'll make a better video on it, but it's just unfathomable to me that Zimmerman is going to walk. This is a tremendous miscarriage of justice, and absolutely something must be done about it. There has to be consequences for this, because if the state can get away with this, if the judicial system can get away with this, it's frightening to think what else that they could get away with, even when caught, frankly, dead to rights, that this was the murder of a young black kid. If they can get away with this, it's just think about what other stuff they can get away with. I just can't do a video properly on this right now. Let's just say, Zimmerman, I hope you rot in hell.